Hey, this is Brian from DisableMyCable.com, and today I'm going to talk about my experiments to determine which broadcast TV DVR gets the most channels. Now, I tested 4 of the most popular types of DVRs. They are the Mediasonic Homeworx HW130 STB, which is the cheapest of the ones I've tested. It connects directly to your TV. There's no app and no internet required for this one, but you can only watch the recordings on that TV. The next one is the Tablo Gen 4, which is probably the most popular of these DVRs. After that was AirTV 2, which is another popular DVR. It's the only one that lets you watch your recordings away from home. And finally, the Silicon Dust HDHomeRun Flex Duo. You can learn all about these DVRs in more detail in my blog, DisableMyCable.com, or I actually have another video about these DVRs where I compare them, and I'll link to them in the description below. Now, from previous testing, I've found that testing for tuner quality and antenna quality is very tricky because the results can change over time. And that can happen because, for example, maybe a cloud rolls in by the time you disconnect one DVR and connect another one to an antenna, or if you're running separate antennas for all DVRs, even a slight difference in antenna position or direction on those could have a big difference on your channel scan results. So to avoid all of these variables, the only way to fairly run this experiment was to run all of the channel scans at the same time using the same antenna. Now, I accomplished that by using a Channel Master CM3214 HD 4-way splitter. So that basically has 1 antenna input and 4 outputs. It's a passive splitter, it's not powered. And I simply connected the outputs to each of my 4 DVRs. Okay, so this is the setup I used for my testing. At the heart of this is this Channel Master 1-to-4 antenna splitter. The input here, I have connected right now a Mohu leaf antenna. And then on the outputs, I have 4 equal length RG6 coax cables going to each of the DVRs. And so the first one here is the Homeworx, the Mediasonic Homeworx. Then we have Tablo Gen 4 here, AirTV 2 with a hard drive, and finally the HDHomeRun Flex Duo. The Homeworx is attached to a monitor because that's the only way you can watch your recordings on that device. The rest of the devices, I just used an app to watch the recordings. And I'll also note that on the Tablo, I did have the internal amplifier turned on because in my testing, that gave me the most channels with this setup. So there it is. This is my test setup for this experiment. Okay, in my first experiment, I wanted to use the worst antenna possible to see how these DVR tuners could pick up a very weak signal. So that the worst antenna that I could find was a paperclip. This is an old trick you can use if you don't have an antenna. You just stick a paperclip into the coax input of your TV or tuner, and that is a primitive antenna. So when I did that as my first test, the results were kind of anticlimactic because each of the 4 DVRs picked up the same 5 channels. So for that initial test with a paperclip antenna, it was a 4-way tie. In my next test, I connected a Mohu leaf, but I left it laying flat on a table for this channel scan. And for that one, the AirTV 2 and Tablo Gen 4 tied for first place at 72 channels, with the Mediasonic Homeworx coming in second at 68 and HDHomeRun at 61. After that, I ran a channel scan with the Mohu Leaf facing the TV stations, so upright. And in that testing, the Mediasonic Homeworx came in first with 105 channels, followed closely by AirTV 2 with 104 channels, Tablo Gen 4 with 90, then the HDHomeRun Flex Duo with 83. So as you can see, these results were kind of all over the place. So over the next 4 days, I continued to run tests at various times of days with different weather conditions ranging from cloudy to overcast to bright sun, and with the antenna in various positions. So after 5 days of testing, I averaged all of the channel scan numbers together, and these are the results. In last place was the Tablo Gen 4 with 88.6 channels on average received. Next was the HDHomeRun Flex Duo with an average of 91.1 channels received. After that was the Mediasonic Homeworx with 95.6 channels received. And in first place was the AirTV 2 with 101.9 channels received. Now this spread wasn't a huge spread, so we're talking about from 88.6 to 101.9 average channels received. So it's not like one totally blew the rest out of the water or one was totally horrible compared to the rest. They were all in the same ballpark. Now the next thing I tested was how well these tuners could pick up a flaky channel. Because if a tuner picks up a lot of channels but they're really flaky, then that doesn't do anyone any good. So I tuned all 4 of the DVRs to a flaky channel that I could find and watched them all at the same time to try to see which one did the best job at picking up a weak station. Now this is somewhat of a subjective test. There isn't a numerical value that I can assign to the results, but to me, the HDHomeRun Flex Duo seemed to do a little bit better at picking up these hard to receive channels. They were all unwatchable on all 4 of them. It wasn't like this was watchable and wasn't watchable on another one, but it seemed to be just a tiny bit better at locking on to these, this weak signal. Next was the Tablo Gen 4, then after that the Mediasonic Homeworx, then after that was AirTV 2, mostly because on the AirTV 2 it would tend to give up when trying to tune a flaky channel and just drop out and show an error message. I liked how on the HDHomeRun Flex Duo and the Mediasonic Homeworx, it would just keep trying to tune that channel no matter what. So the other thing I had an opportunity to test, which was not directly related to antenna reception, was the software quality. In other words, how often did these units crash or hang? So in that respect, the HDHomeRun Flex Duo and the Mediasonic Homeworx were the best. They did not crash or hang anytime during my testing. The Tablo Gen 4 did hang quite a bit when I was trying to run channel scans, especially multiple channel scans in a row, which made it very annoying to test. I also encountered some bugs with the AirTV 2 when trying to change channels. Sometimes it would hang when I tried to change channels, and I would have to restart the app in order to change channels. So what's the bottom line after all of this testing? I think it's that all 4 of these boxes have tuners of similar quality. They were all kind of in the same ballpark, although AirTV 2 brought in the most channels. If you already own one of these boxes, I would not recommend going out and buying a different one to get more channels. You're much better off adjusting your current antenna position to optimize it for the antenna signals in your area, or if you're using an indoor antenna, getting an outdoor antenna mounted. You'll get way more channels by going from an indoor antenna to an outdoor antenna than you will from buying a different DVR box. If you are looking for a new DVR, you can weigh this But you should also weigh these results along with all of the other feature differences of these DVRs, and there are some big ones. I talk about those in my other video, which I compare all of these DVRs, as well as in my blog, disablemycable.com. And again, there'll be links in the description of this video for those things. But to go back to the original question, which DVR brings in the most channels? The answer is AirTV 2. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like and subscribe to this channel and check out my blog, disablemycable.com. Thanks a lot.